Hello and welcome to another round of Queen Astro's Tarot. Today, my friends, we are going to take a look at what does your inner child want you to know. So maybe you feel like there's something you're kind of stifling, or an inner joy or sort of vulnerability that is just something's telling you, like your inner child's like, hey, pay attention to me. Or maybe you've been told that your inner child needs to be paid attention to, and you're like, yeah, that's why I'm here, Queen Astro. So we are going to take a look at that. Welcome back to those of you who have come here before. Welcome for the first time for those of you who are new. For the way this works, we have 4 different piles, and the timestamps will be in the description below, but really quick, we'll go over the piles, and I've kind of purposefully hid these Celtic tree oracle cards so you can kind of only see like a little bit of them to kind of get a glimpse. Yeah, because that's just kind of how I like to do my tarot piles. So with that being said, we have pile 1 with the rune of Algiz. Sorry, I'll keep this PG. I'm not a child. See, my inner child just wants to be crude. All right, but maybe not you, pile 1. So pile 1, Algiz. Pile 2, we have the rune of Uthala. Pile 3, we have the rune of Lagus. And then pile 4, we have the rune of Sowilo. So go ahead and take a chance to get, vibe of the piles. Maybe, there's more than one pile that's calling to you. Feel free to watch all of them, none of them, one of them, whatever combo suits you. Again, the the timestamps will be in the description box below. And really quickly, before we jump into these, I just want to thank everybody who's liked, commented, shared, subscribed. You know the drill. It really, really helps my channel grow so much, and I genuinely cannot tell you how much I appreciate it. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And let's hop right into it. Woo! All right, if you were here, you picked pile 1 with the Algiz rune, which looks like a little chicken foot to me, or a little person with their hands up going, yay. And for those who aren't as familiar with runes, this is the rune of protection, your higher self. It's especially linked to the Valkyrie, which are, the badass lady warrior protectors of Nordic mythology, aka Tessa Thompson in the MCU Thor, if you will. But I think right off the bat, this is what for you, pile 1, it's saying that your inner child wants you to know that you are protected. So maybe there are things that you've thought are like, you've had to be defensive about, or things you've had to kind of hide away because you feel like they're like, oh, this dream or this idea or this pursuing this person or job or this move is childish. Like, I'm not thinking everything through. And that's not to say like, throw all caution in the wind. Who cares? Just uproot your life. But I think what it is saying, pile 1, is that there are some things that I think you might be nervous about, like letting these like dreams of your inner child come out. And this is saying like, no, you're protected. Right off the bat, it's saying you're protected. So like, don't freak on decisions or choices based on like a defensiveness, if that makes sense. And just to give you a little insight into the reading, I've got a Celtic tree oracle card, which we're going to go over at the end. And yours is 11, Moon Vine. 11 is a master manifestor number. And I believe these are blackberries. Very pretty card. But we'll go over that at the end. Pile 1, just because the deck has a really beautiful book with really gorgeous messages from the spirit of each individual plant, and I really feel that it is a very lovely way to end the reading. So I pulled 4 cards from 2 different tarot decks. To be clear, I pre-pulled them, but I did not pre-view them, if you will. So this is a reveal for all of us, and so I think that makes it a little more fun. So let's see, pile 1. What does your inner child want you to know, or what is your inner child trying to tell you? What message are they trying to give you? All right, we've got the Queen of Wands in reverse. Apology, my hands are a little shaky. Such a pretty card. The Empress, interesting. Oh, and I love that this is a mountain lion. This is a new deck for me too, so pretty. It's the Field Tarot. Ooh, the Universe, which is the world here. Oh, okay. I'm starting to get a picture here. Starting to get a picture for y'all, pile 1. Interesting, interesting. And then you got 9 of Wands, Resilience. Interesting, pile one. What's also interesting is that in this particular deck, the guidebook doesn't give interpretations of the reverse. So the way I have planned to sort of, or I have been rather, using this deck when a reversal comes up, I just kind of take it as either a more muted version of this energy or a delayed version of this energy, just to give you a little insight into how I'm reading this deck, pile one. But with the Queen of Wands, like, she reminds me of somebody who's just warm and like a grandma who always has the best cookies and the best stories. Like a very maternal, but not, you know, that is your only identity, so to speak, pile one. You know, like you're not only a caregiver, is what I'm getting. Especially with the Empress right here. Again, like it's a very feminine energy. And the reversal, I feel like maybe you felt like you've had to withdraw some of this warmth for whatever reason. Like you feel that it has not served you well in the past for one reason or another. But I think what your inner child is trying to say, pile one, is that, especially, I can't get over the Empress and the Universe, boom, boom, right next to each other. Especially 321, you know, they're both, I forget what the term is called, multiples, whatever. 3 goes into 21 7 times, is what I'm trying to say, and 9, 3, a lot of 3 base numbers, which to me is about communication. So I think what your inner child is really trying to say is, you know, don't, again, with this, I'm going to pause really quickly. I am dog sitting and one of the dogs is not getting along with the other. Maybe that has to do with this reading. Please hold. Apologies for that, pile one. I am dog sitting. I have 2 dogs of my own. They're little. And this dog I'm dog sitting is very, very sweet, but a very anxious dog. And she's a Shiba, or a Jinto mix. So she's a little bigger. And she keeps getting my little dog's spaces. And they're like, F off. So I just wanted to pause and stop a little dog brawl from happening. And I feel like that happened at this time for a reason, pile one. Especially with this resilience card, the 9 of Wands. Like you've had to go through certain things that maybe has you blocking or shielding your inner child, you know, in terms of, you know, this is what makes you feel safe. This is what makes you feel okay. And that's fine. You know, sometimes we have to withdraw. Sometimes we have to, you know, go back to our respective layers and lick our wounds for whatever reason that might be. But pile one, I think your inner child is telling you, you have so much more resilience than you think, and that things are literally lining up for you, especially with the Empress and the Universe next to each other. Like, my God, what a beautiful, creative, fruitful combination. But let's keep going, pile one, and see with the Orion's Animal Tarot, what exactly your inner child is trying to tell you, what they want you to know, etc., etc. All right, we've got, oh my gosh, the Sun. Wow, what a beautiful card. And before I go on, I will say with this deck, most of the backgrounds of the cards are really pretty, like the blues, purples. There's only a handful that have this bright, vibrant yellow. I want to say like 2 or 3, and the Sun is one of them, obviously. But wow, what a great card to get under the Queen of Wands. Like maybe you've withdrawn this warmth that you've used to exude, that came from your inner child, this happiness, this buoyancy, this joy. And this is a reminder that your inner child's like, yes, bring that back out. Like that is such a beautiful part of you. And me, hello, your inner child. And it's really aching to be released, pile one. Wow, Ace of Cups in reverse under the Empress. Yeah, so with the Ace of Cups, which is usually about like new beginnings, especially within, you know, the realm of emotions, being a water card, maybe there was something, again, that kind of took a beginning or something that was like a false start that made you kind of withdraw, that made you kind of take back this bright, buoyant, I keep getting the word buoyant, like very bubbly energy, pile one. So let's keep going. And wow, 9 of Swords in reverse under the Universe. And then we have, actually, you know what? I am going to flip the Magician right side up because I do remember kind of seeing a peek of this and accidentally flipping it. So I am going to pull this one right side up, pile one. Wow. This is very gorgeous. Like your inner child again, and it makes sense here with the rune you picked, pile one, you are so protected. So, so, so protected. And that isn't to say the withdrawal of that warmth you once had wasn't necessary. Maybe you had to, again, withdraw until things lined up, but your inner child is saying things are lined up, right? Like you have this power, especially, my God, you've got the sun, the magician, and the empress, and the universe. Pile one, your inner child is bright and just wants to shine for everyone, is what I'm getting. Like they are rambunctious in the best way possible, if that makes sense. Like your inner child isn't being precocious or annoying. They're just like, dude, I know what I'm doing. Like, chill out for a second. You are protected. You have spirits looking out for you. You have the Valkyrie. Like literally, I know why you were hurt and I know why you withdrew. This is what your inner child, I feel like, is saying. But we need to go out and play. We need to go out and have some friggin' fun. Like you're resilient. You don't need to keep being in the shell. It's time, again, with the magician, to shed that skin, to shed that old life, that old you, pile one. Really quickly, I do want to clarify on this Nine of Swords. I'm going to check the guidebook because it's gorgeous. And as I'm flipping through really quickly, if this resonates with you, like, please definitely let me know. If you want to like, comment, share, subscribe. I genuinely appreciate it so, so much. It really means the world to me and makes me want to do more of these. So hopefully that happens. Alrighty, here, pile one. In reverse, turmoil, dependency, improvement. Yeah, your negative thoughts and fears have permeated deeper into your subconscious, throwing you in absolute turmoil from within. You may have tried keeping these fears to yourself, right? That withdrawing. But now is not the time to be alone. Seek our help and support to alleviate some of the tension weighing you down. If you've recently emerged from a period of intense fear and self-criticism, take this as a sign that you successfully managed to work through your problems, right? Pile one. So what your inner child is saying is the time you took to, again, I'm getting like a kind of like a false start of something that your heart was kind of set on. Pile one with this Ace of Cups in reverse, which is a cute little otter. But the thing about otters is they can also mess you up, dude. They know how to use tools and they could bash your head with a rock. So I feel like that's also, there's like a fieriness I feel to you. And there's, I think, pile one, part of you that maybe in your past you were a little, rambunctious or, quote unquote, too rambunctious, where you were, in other people's bubble space or, physical boundaries and, bounce around like a pinball. Again, I'm getting that buoyant sort of vibe, pile one. But this is the sun right here and the Nine of Swords in reverse saying you've done your like penance, for lack of a better word. You've gone through all the phases of making sure that when you do align or, I keep, not unleash, because that sounds like, I keep using the word unleash, but that doesn't seem right, but literally unleash your inner child. You don't have anything to be afraid of. This is a new version, pile one, is what I'm hearing. Let's really quickly close with the Celtic tree oracle that you pulled, and I'll put it up to the camera again so you can see. It is the, I got it kind of, moon vine, million vine, 11. But again, you've got 11, which is a master manifestor number, right? And then you've got the magician and the empress, which to me is like also very similar energy, except almost an effortlessness to it. Whereas to me, the magician is more purposefully or through willpower doing things, with the empress. That's just me talking about tarot now. Let's read from this read, pile one. See what your inner child, their final message to you is in terms of what they want you to know. Let's see what the message says, and this is the book, and I'll link these in the description as well. I'm the moon vine, and I bring you the fruits of your labor. I promise you the reward of completions, right? With all these nines is completion. And I hope you have been cultivating the very best. Take a moment to give gratitude for that which is good in your life and for the mysteries and the magic of Mother Nature. Share something with others, be it your time or resources, right? So get back out there. Like, you have so much to offer, pile one. Plan a celebration. Honor your community, your family, your friends. Laugh and sing together. Take a moment also to thank yourself, right? You've done all this work, pile one. Thank yourself. Think about what you are proud of. take a moment to sit in the sun and draw from the solar power to feed us all. Alrighty, and I'm gonna leave you there, pile one. I really hope that this resonated with you. You rule, by the way, and you deserve to shine bright and be buoyant and bubbly and lovely, just like your inner child wants you to, pile one. Yes, and again, if this resonated with you, please like, comment, share, subscribe. You know the drill. Thank you again so much for being here, and I will talk to you next time. Bye, pile one. Hello, if you're here, you picked pile two to see what your inner child wants you to know, and you picked the Othala rune, oops, I almost drop it, which is the rune of inheritance, especially of family and ancestral ties, whether that be trauma or inheritance. So pile two, just off this rune alone, I feel like your inner child might be either dealing with either guilt surrounding a sort of ease in your life, or wants to address a sort of frustration for kind of making up for sins, for lack of a better word, of your ancestors past. So I think that's kind of what your inner child wants to talk about, pile two. But before we dive into the cards, I'll give you a little bit of insight into how the reading's going to go. I will show you your Celtic Tree Oracle card, but we're going to save it for last. And then I pre-pulled 2 or 4 cards from two piles, geez Louise, 2 tarot decks to look at what your inner child wants to say. So let's start with the Celtic Oracle, just give you a little teaser. You pulled the Ore Spindle, which is 22, which is another master manifestor number. Pile one also had a master manifestor number. So I'll put that down right here. Okay. And to be clear, pile two, I will end the reading with, I love this deck because each of the tree spirits has a different message. And I find that that's a great way to end a reading, so we will end on that. All right, so let's take a look at your tarot pile. I'm having an difficult time talking today. That's why I decided to film a video. And to be clear, I pre-pulled these, but I did not pre-look at them. So it's a reveal for us all, my friends. All right, let's see what we've got pile two. We've got the 4 of Wands. Judgment. Can you see, and I believe this is a cicada. It's pincers. It looks like a cicada carcass, or, their shells. I'm not sure what the exact thing is called. The 4 of Cups in reverse. Interesting, 2 4s. And then, the High Priestess in reverse. Interesting, pile two. So with the 4 of Wands, which is usually, such a beautiful, like, best case scenario sort of card, in the traditional Rider-Waite tarot, it's a couple, and they're standing in front of their castle with, 2 pillars on each side of them, like yippee skippy, really, really fruitful. And so kind of going off again what your rune said, maybe you feel like, you kind of were fortunate in whatever, way you declare that. Maybe you don't have student debt. You were lucky enough to have parents who could help you out with that, or to get a really, really awesome scholarship. Or perhaps you feel like, you married into money and now everything's so easy. And I feel like there's maybe a judgment coming from you, pile two, that your inner child is kind of saying, hey, give yourself some slack. Just because you might be in a position that is much more fortunate than a majority of people, you feeling guilty for it isn't going to do anything, right? If you want to affect change, you would use your higher power or status to invoke change, right? And especially, with judgment, you've also got like a rebirth, awakening, composure. So I think that you have had such a resplendent sort of You know, this might not have been forever. It might have just been recently. So this might be kind of a newer sensation to you as well, pile two. You might be kind of, again, unsure of how to handle it. And your inner child saying, hello, this is what we always wanted. So now you can do the things you actually want to do, right? You don't have to gruel over 9 to 5 that you don't like or that you hate or whatever. Pile two. And then really quickly, I'm just looking at the guidebook for the Four of Cups in reverse, just because this is a newer deck and the art is so beautiful. So I want to make sure I'm getting all the intricacies for you, pile two. And while I do that, if you want to like, comment, share, subscribe. You know, I always like to hear who picked what pile and how it resonated with them. Yes, reverse enthusiasm, awareness, motivation. Right. So I think you're kind of already onto what your inner child has been saying, pile two. Like you're like, okay, I could feel weird about this inheritance, whatever that might mean to you. I can judge myself for it, or I can, you know, I've done the reflection and now I can move forward. I've got this enthusiasm. I don't have to withdraw anymore. What's interesting too is the High Priestess in reverse. You got two major arcana as well, pile two. So your inner child is really wanting you to hear this message. They're like, this is big stuff. Because it's reverse. Yeah, oh my gosh. I'm just reading the book right now. The High Priestess suggests that your inner voice is muffled and stifled. Something is weighing you down. Whether that's an outside force or an internal dilemma, it's for you to find out. So I think your inner child too is saying, if you're like, hey, if maybe for some of y'all, you're not at this point where you feel confident in your gifts. And again, the inheritance doesn't always have to be like, oh, I've got a butt ton of money. It could be, I just happen to be really good at budgeting and nobody else is. You know what I mean? Like there's a gift that you have that I think for whatever reason has made, and again, when I say material, it doesn't always have to be money, wealth, but has materially made you more comfortable than most. And I feel like this High Priestess in reverse is your inner child saying, if you aren't one of the folks who's, you know, past the reflection point, to kind of really look at what guilt or shame is surrounding your gifts. Pile two. But let's let's reveal from the Field Tarot to kind of clarify each of these and see what your inner child is really saying, pile two. All right, we've got the Prince of Discs, which is also the Prince of Coins or Pentacles, reliability under Four of Wands, right? Like you have this structure, this reliability about you. And the Prince of Discs or the Knight of Pentacles is usually like a slow moving, methodical sort of person. The Devil, interesting, under Judgment, interesting. Let's keep going. Whoa, the Magician. Wow, right. Okay. And then Strength in, wow, you gotta, this is, pile one and two have had a lot of major arcana. I'm like, I don't know, I only used 2 decks. How did that happen? We'll see what happens with 3 and 4, but wow, pile two. So especially with the Devil right under Judgment, I feel like maybe you, again, with this like sort of, maybe you've just been rich in time. You know, maybe you, yeah, you're not, you know, rolling in the dough, but you can work 20 hours a week and still survive. Whereas, you know, people who are, you know, working 80 hours a week and can barely make ends meet, and you're like, well, I have money to, you know, go see a movie or go dancing with my friends or, you know, indulge in these things, if that makes sense, pile two, that has you kind of in despair. And I think your inner child is trying to say that you're allowed, you know, you're allowed to treat yourself. Of course, you know, don't go into complete hedonism unless, you know, that's what you want to do. Who am I to judge you? But I think this is saying, don't be judging yourself, again, for what your inner child is really saying. You can't help it that this is who you are. What you can help is how you transmute this energy. So again, right under the Four of Cups, you've got the Magician. What powerful energy, pile two. This new enthusiasm, this new force, this new zest for life. And again, I get kind of like this, like sort of helping others, especially with the High Priestess and the Strength, which I've always viewed as like super feminine cards. And even in reverse, and again, I don't know if I said this in this pile two, but this deck, the Field Tarot, only gives interpretations of the upright card in its book. So the way I've been reading the reversals is to kind of take that as either a more muted energy or a delay in that energy, just to kind of give you a little bit of clarification as to how I'm reading that second deck. But with Strength too, which is interesting, you've got right next to the Magician, which I always think of, I don't see an infinity sign on this one, which there usually is. But with Strength is also number 8, right? Wait, hold though. This is an interesting deck. I lied, it's 11. Am I losing my mind? Has it always been 11? Am I making things up now? Oh yeah, I am making things up. It's always been 11. Nobody panic. But what I think it's saying, it's, you know, there might have been like a lack of confidence, like kind of like I just had. I was like, wait a second. And like I kind of goofed, right? Like clearly I got, somehow in my head, Strength had always been 8 and it was 11 when I know that Justice is, because I'm a Libra and Justice is my card, man. So I feel like maybe there was something that you feel like, again, I get this like inner critic for having what you have, pile 2, and your inner child is saying, please don't do that, because what we have to give is so valuable, and sulking and or feeling guilt or shame around it simply for having it isn't going to do anyone good, especially you, is what I'm hearing, pile 2. Yeah. To conclude your reading, we're going to, again, like I said, look at your Celtic Tarot, which is the Aura Spindle. Again, you've got 22, that Master Manifestor number, Magician, High Priestess, big manifestation energy, pile 2. I think your inner child is being like, hey man, get out of your own way. But I'm going to read, to close the reading, the plant message from your Celtic Oracle, pile 2, to hear what final message your inner child has for you. Yeah, this card offers you sudden insight and clarity, right? Like with this 4 of Cups in reverse, this motion. You are asked to remember that you are a being of light and to see the light in every person you meet, in every situation you enter. This tree brings illumination and insight. And here's the message from the card. I am the Aura Spindle, and I bring you hope for the future. I sustain you with new light as you move towards your goals. I bring clarity and insight. I illuminate new possibilities. I am the promise of that which you long to create. I offer you the strength and encouragement to fulfill your goals. I offer you sweetness and delights. And see, that kind of reminds me of the Devil too, which again, I know some people are like, you need to get rid of your vices, which everything in moderation, which I think, again, with the Judgment card, it's kind of saying, you know, you're allowed to have some sweets once in a while, pal, too. Gather what you need to complete a task or project. Get busy. I offer you sustenance to do the work that will ensure the fulfillment of your goals. We are partners in the business of applying energy to ideas and bringing plans to fruition. Notice what you already have that is full of beauty and contentment, which it seems like you've got a good amount, pile 2. Pat yourself on the back for all that you have completed, for a job well done. Take some time to enjoy the fruits of your labor before you plunge into the next project or endeavor, right? So don't feel guilty about celebrating where you're at, pile 2. That's what your inner child is trying to tell you. I am the candle within you. What inspires you? How can you keep that inner light burning, even in great darkness? I help you embrace change and appreciate your own insight and sudden flashes of knowing. I help you awaken, take yourself seriously. I am your hope and your inner light, and I am here to remind you of your awesome potential and creative nature. Let me inspire you. Let me fill you with a sense of contentment and the realization that you've done well. That's powerful, pile 2. Again, I want to highlight the line really quickly. I help you awaken, take yourself seriously. And I think that's what this is, like, again, just because you were, and I don't think you were handed something, by the way, pile 2. I believe you worked very hard for it. And you're just not giving yourself enough credit. And that's really, really what your inner child wants you to do. Because you deserve it, and you've worked hard to be where you're at. And again, we're allowed to have fun every once in a while. Because we are magic. I'm going to leave it at that, pile 2. Please let me know in the comments if this resonated with you. You know the drill, like, comment, subscribe. I really hope that this brought you some clarity or insight. Your inner child wants you to know you're on the right path, pile 2. And to trust yourself and to not judge yourself for any easiness you've had in your life. You don't know what you've encountered in your past lives. Maybe you're owed it, man. Take it. All right. That concludes your reading, pile 2. I hope you have a best day or night ever. You know what I mean. Have a great night, day, whatever time it is. All right. Bye, pile 2. Hello. If you're here, you picked pile 3 with the rune Laguz, which means lake or lagoon. You know, you see where it comes from? This is the rune of the collective subconscious dreams. You know, water can take whatever form its vessel is, and this is about consciousness or reality also doing the same thing, pile 3. It's about imagination. I almost view it too, almost with a playfulness too. Just because I think of, you know, a lagoon, I think of mermaids and a sort of fantasy. But I think the word fantasy is misleading because that can be also interpreted as unreal. And here, I think your inner child is saying, that's not true. Like whatever, especially if you've been having certain dreams, both, or, you know, either waking dreams or goals or dreams at night about something you want to do, and you feel like it's totally out of the question for whatever reason. I think just based off of the rune alone, pile 3, your inner child saying, no, we can do it. Look at how fiery and vivid my imagination is, or our imagination is. Look at this tool we have. Look at this ability we have to link the conscious and the subconscious to get what we want, to put the water into the vessel, the shape of the vessel being, you know, our reality. I don't know why I said that so intensely. Your inner child is really like, hey man. I don't know why they seem like, I just got the image of the baby from Who Framed Roger Rabbit, who's always spoken as Stogie. I don't think your inner child's doing that, but I did just get that image in my head for some reason. Like they're just like, they're gonna give it to you straight. So let's get into your reading, pile 3, off of that Stogie baby note. To give you a little insight, I have a Celtic Tree Oracle card here for you that I will reveal, but I want to do the plant message at the end of the reading just because I think they're very beautiful and a very cohesive way to end a reading. And I pulled 4 cards from 2 different tarot decks. And to be clear, I pre-pulled them, but I did not pre-view them. So the reveal is for all of us, pile 3, to see what it is your inner child wants you to know. And I feel like it's going to be, I don't know, I'm excited. It's a very interesting energy off of that one. Let's see what's going on. All right, we've got Ace of Cups in reverse, or love. And I will say, pile 3, really quickly before I continue pulling, that this deck, which is the Field Tarot, does not offer in its guidebook interpretations for reversals. So the way I've been reading them is almost like a muted energy or a delayed energy. And I will interpret this, but I wanted to let you guys know that first. You got the Prince or the Knight of Cups, which is introspection. Already a lot of water. Wow. Pile 3. I'm feeling this one might be my favorite. Don't tell the other piles. You got the the 9 of Swords in reverse. Fear. And then Justice. Ooh. I love her. Ooh. I just moved my light a little bit. Sorry if the light shifted. But pile 3. Sorry if the light shifted. Sorry, I was like, when I said that, I feel like it's like the light shifted for you too. Especially with the Ace of Cups in reverse, love. I feel like maybe there was a project or a person or somebody that an emotional beginning that felt promising, but was maybe delayed a little bit. And pile 1 also had a similar thing. So maybe after this pile, if you want more information, definitely go to pile 1. But pile 3, I feel like there was something, and again, this doesn't have to be like a devastating thing. I just feel like there was either delay in a start of a passion project or a relationship or something that you were very emotionally motivated towards. And when it didn't happen, you know, you went into this realm of introspection. But I think very quickly that realm of introspection might have turned into cyclical thoughts and turned into fear. And I don't think with the 9 of Swords in reverse, I don't think it was, you know, detrimental to the point where or I hope it wasn't, till, you know, you couldn't get out of bed or what have you, like the figure in the card. But I think if anything, it was just, you know, really did kind of catch you off guard. And there's sort of this need to rectify the situation. And I think your inner child's on your side on this, whatever this is. You know what, and I'm not saying if somebody hurt you, hurt them back at all. But in terms of needing to talk to somebody about, or, you know, if this was like a work thing, talking to your boss, like whatever this Ace of Cups in reverse is for you, pile 3, is what your inner child wants you to kind of take a look at. Yeah, but let's keep going. And I'm going to now show the Orion's Animal Tarot. Took me a second. You've got, ooh, the Hierophant. I talk good. The Knight of Cups. Oh! You've got the Prince of Cups, which is the Knight of Cups, upright, and then you have it in reverse right underneath it. Okay, pile 3. The Emperor in reverse right under the Nine of Swords. And then the Knight of Swords, or the Prince of Swords, upright. And what's interesting is, I think, with these two, is that they both have one very large, the Justice card and the Knight of Swords card, have one very large sword. I almost said knife, but those are not knives, they are swords. I'm going to check something really quickly in the guidebook for the Animal Tarot on this reversal, because this is really throwing me that, like, I'm trying to figure out if there's like a mirroring going on, but I'm going to read the guidebook just because it gives a little more nuances, because the art is so intricate. So I can give you the full nuance of the reading, pile 3. And while I'm doing that, you know, if you want to like, comment, subscribe, definitely know if this is resonating. Let me know if this is resonating with you in the comments. Where are you, cuppies? There you are. There you are. Heartbreak, disappointment, moodiness, right? So I think your inner child is saying, you know, yeah, you're allowed to be upset about whatever this thing was, but you have one of two choices, where you can sulk and be pissy about it, which again is fine if you need to do that. That doesn't say, you know, repress your emotions, repress your anger. Obviously feel what you need to feel, but you can keep, if you can see this card, you've got a whole cup full of berries, but in reverse, maybe they're poison. You know what I mean? Like maybe you're literally poisoning yourself with these thoughts of heartbreak and disappointment and moodiness, this sort of cyclical thinking about whatever this fear. And I think this fear might be related to this false start or something not coming to fruition completely in terms of what your heart really, really wanted. Pile 3. And it's so interesting with this Hierophant. I feel like, again, with that baby from is it Baby Louie? If you know the name of the baby from Who Framed Roger Rabbit, please let me know in the comments. It's driving me cuckoo. But you've got the Hierophant right under the Ace of Cups, and I keep getting like the idea, like, buckle up, buttercup, like, suck it up. And again, this isn't to say, hide your feelings, work, or whatever. But I think your inner child has a sort of fire to them, pile 3, that they're, like, again, with this Elephant or the Emperor in reverse too, right under the Nine of Swords. Like, I feel like they're telling you it's time to move forward. Like, we're tired of this. Whatever this sulking about whatever topic this is, like, yeah, it sucked. We're not saying it didn't suck, but thinking about how much it sucked isn't making life suck less now. Can I say suck one more time? Yeah, let's do it. Suck. Yeah, you got a very, very fiery inner child, pile 3. I like them. And reverse, inflexibility, tyranny, stubbornness. So I feel like it's like your inner child saying, like, let go of whatever this old story is that you keep telling yourself that's keeping you in this, like, sort of perpetual either like, I feel like there's days where you are able to reflect on whatever this situation was. Like, yeah, I did everything right. Like the Hierophant, like I did everything according to plan. I did everything in my power to make this thing happen. And you know what? It didn't. And I'm able to move forward. And I think you have days like that. And then I think you have days where that is not the case. And you are, and again, I don't think this is, debilitating in any sense, but you are stuck in some capacity from moving forward, from charging ahead like the Emperor wants you to. Okay, pile 3. Yeah, you got a real feisty little inner child, and I get why they're and they keep saying like you're allowed to be mad. Like you're allowed to be mad about what happened to you. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying we were mad and now we're not. Or we were mad at that thing, but we don't think about that thing all the time because that's not what we want our life to be. We don't want our life to be consumed by this. Pile 3 is what I'm hearing. Really quickly, I'm just looking at the Knight of Swords under Justice because, yeah, ambitious, motivation, forward thinking. And this is a vermilion flycatcher. I didn't know what kind of bird that was. It's a very pretty bird. The Knight of Swords suggests that you're on a mission and won't let anything stand in your way. Overall, you're an ambitious and driven individual, and you're using your intellect to get through obstacles. Taking action is your first instinct, and if you're assertive, you'll have an easier time getting what you want. When you want it. Boom. Just like the little baby inside you wants. And again, I'm not saying I'm gonna keep thinking of your inner child as the little baby from Roger Rabbit. And again, I mean that in the best way possible. If you don't know what I'm talking about, watch Who Framed Roger Rabbit. It's a classic. Think through your actions before leaping into the unknown. Engage with others who share your drive and forward-thinking habits. You may be able to motivate each other towards bigger and better things. So yeah, pile 3, what I'm getting is, in order to bring this balance, to keep this like flip-flopping from happening where you're like, I'm fine, I'm losing it, I'm fine, I'm losing it. Like this sort of, this is the cycle I'm seeing. Like this is what happened, this is the cycle, and this is what your inner child wants you to do now. And if you want to bring this justice into your life, pile 3, which trust me, you do, or your inner child really, really, really wants you to do. And it's not justice in the sense that like you're getting vengeance on somebody or you're hurting the person who wronged you or whatever. So much as it is like, the best revenge is a life best lived or something like that, like a great life lived. Justice serves as a reminder to consider cause and effect. Actions will be judged with fairness and truth. An important decision will be made. Equilibrium, consequences, truth, the law, impartiality. So I think it's to your inner child saying, don't judge yourself for this thing. They're like, yeah, we did our best, man. What else could we do? We did our best. We did our reflecting. We had our, cry our eyes out moments. We had our super zen, wow, I grow, I'm totally enlightened moments. And now we need to, with that same energy that we had here, that sort of joy and just knowing that you were going to get whatever it was done, we just needed to attack life like that now. I really get that. What's your inner child saying, pile 3? Like we really just need to, again, I keep hearing, you were allowed to be mad. And if you want to transmute that anger and use it, just don't use it to sulk, pile 3. It's like, yeah, we are pissed. So let's go do freaking something about it. Like your inner child wants to, transmute that energy, that anger or these cyclical thoughts and be like, okay, so maybe if you catch yourself, fixating on whatever the situation might be to you, pile 3, what I like to do in these situations is, like, say I'm worried about a bill and I'm like, oh God, is my paycheck going to get here on time? Is my paycheck going to get here on time? I ask myself, hey, is you asking over and over going to make the paycheck come in any faster? I say, no. And if I believe in the law of assumption, if anything, it'll keep it out of my reach forever. And then I say, okay, me, so what are we going to do instead? And then I say, well, I'll take this energy and I will, take the dogs for a long walk, or I will practice piano for a while. Like that's something I like to do, something meditative but still active. And so I think there's a way, pile 3, that your inner child is saying you can kind of transmute any sort of fixations you've had about the past into something positive. Yeah. I really like your inner child, pile 3, which means I really like you. But to close your reading, I realized I did not even really reveal your Celtic Tree Tarot card to you, or Oracle card rather, the Ihoyu, which is 20. And with 20, or, breaking down to 2, which is like partnerships, balance, this is definitely what your inner child wants for you, pile 3. I'm going to read from the Celtic Tree Oracle Guidebook about the Spirit's message for you, pile 3. Because I feel like that's and I'm very curious because I do know this deck fairly well, but like I don't know them all by heart yet. So I'm curious to see wow, okay. Sorry, I'm like looking at the keywords. Death and rebirth, legacies, ancestors, transition, transformation, transmutation. Wow, I'm like, that's what I just said. Regeneration. Yeah, what are you done with? What have you completed? What have you had enough of? What is asking you to let it go? Holy smokes, pile 3. Yeah, transformation and transmutation involve evolutional changes. Wow. Here's the actual message from the card, pile 3. I am the Ihoyu. I connect you to the aspirations of your lineages and your ancestors. I connect you to your homelands. I hold ancient spiritual teachings and knowledge. I am full of the hope of your people. I connect you to loved ones who have passed over. I'm here to remind you that space and time are inventions, not the true foundation of reality. Be patient. I offer you courage and inner knowing. Do not be afraid of change or death. They are just portals into new beginnings. Breathe deeply. Listen to the inner silence in which you can hear what has gone before and that which endures for all time. You are part of an important legacy. You are a steward of Mother Earth with work to do. Protect her as she is paradise. And be kind to yourself. Treat yourself with love and respect. You are a holy being of great potential. Grief will deepen you. Allow us to fill you with hope and trust and believe that the light will return and you will burn even brighter than you could have ever imagined. You are loved. I got goosebumps there, pile 3, and it is like 100 degrees in my apartment. Wow. Yeah, I'm gonna end your reading there. You are so powerful, pile 3, and very fiery, which I absolutely respect. And whatever this cycle was, and I know it's so like, ugh, to hear, it was meant to help you, and you are ready to, kick ass and take names. And I am so stoked to hear what you do, pile 3. Definitely let me know in the comments. I really hope that this resonated with you. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. You know the drill. And until then, I will see you next time. Bye, pile 3. Hello. If you're here, you picked pile 4 with this Sowilo rune to see what it is your inner child has to tell you. And the Sowilo rune is a rune of victory, mastery, wholeness. Like, it's a very masculine, powerful, like sun-based energy. But there is like a hint of, quote unquote feminine, or that softer energy in terms of like, there's hope and faith in outcomes. It's a marriage of, as above, so below, that willpower and having the receptivity to actually have things line up. Pile 4. And I feel like I'm trying to think of the words. Like, your inner child, they're not saying, you're doing fine, but there's a fire about you. A lot of fiery readings, and I guess it is Leo season. This is a timeless reading. I just happen to be reading it in Leo season. But there's also something about like a code of honor, about respect. And I'm not sure who that's about, pile 4. If your inner child talking about like, self-respect or respect with others. But generally it's about like, call me Spike Lee, do the right thing. But let's see what your inner child has to say, pile 4. I'm going to reveal your Celtic Tree Oracle, which is the Ruiz Elder. Very, very pretty. I am going to save the interpretation of this card for the end of the video, though, because the guidebook for this deck has messages from each plant spirit, and they're very beautiful, and I feel like it is a great way to end a reading. So there. So let's see what's going on with you, pile 4, with this Sowilo, this very, like, masculine, powerful energy. What does your inner child want you to know? And to be clear, I just like to, I don't know, for transparency's sake, I pre-pulled the cards, but I did not pre-look at them. So it's a reveal for all of us. So let's see. We've got the 8 of Pentacles in reverse. The 6 of Pentacles. Yeah, a lot of material already, pile 4. Like material, earth-based cards. Ooh, the Empress. Such a pretty card, too. And then the Ace of Wands in reverse. Interesting. It's interesting with the Eight of Pentacles in reverse, because if anything, I would have expected to see it right side up, especially with the Six of Pentacles right after it, this sort of like ability to share your material success, pile 4. I am intrigued as to what the Eight of Pentacles in reverse, which is almost felt like a listlessness or an uninspiredness sort of happening. Like, I feel like the Eight of Pentacles and the Ace of Wands sort of go together energetically in terms of, you know, having this, again, fiery sort of energy or vibe, if you will, about you, pile 4, but some sort of stagnation that your inner child wants to address, some sort of, and I don't think it's necessarily a willful stagnation. Like, I don't feel like it's like a procrastination stagnation. So much as it is a sort of hesitation. And I don't think it's like a deliberate hesitation, but some maybe low-key form of self-sabotage happening here, pile 4. And especially with the Empress, like, what a beautiful energy, this receptive, and especially in conjunction with the Sawilo, they kind of really complement each other in terms of masculine and feminine energy. And I feel like your inner child may be calling to you to balance that out a little more, pile 4, to move forward. Because you definitely have like the willpower, the strength, like you are ready to, you know, to harvest, to build all these nests. But I feel like something about it, your inner child is saying, like, this listlessness or this, the magic of the process has been lost somehow, especially with, like, something about that has been lost for you, pile 4. And your inner child's trying to figure, or help you figure out how to get the magic back. And then, boom, the Tower right under. Interesting, wow. The Seven of Swords, deception. Huh. Two of Wands in reverse, planning. And then you've got the Nine of Discs, or the Nine of Pentacles, which is culmination in reverse. Interesting, pile 4. I will say before I dive into these, this deck right here is the Field Tarot and the guidebook, which is very cute. Sorry, I just hit my light. Does not have reversals in it. So the way I've been reading reversals for the past few piles is to read them as either like a more muted energy of what it would be upright, or a delay in that energy. But what I'm kind of getting like a whole story, pile 4. I'm trying to, like, do you know the song? I think the band is Dwight Twilley Band. It's an older song. It was in the opening of a couple movies, in a movie called You're Next, which is an awesome horror movie. And I believe it was in A Diary of a Teenage Girl. But it's a song called Looking for the Magic. And it's like, all my life I'm looking for the magic. I'm not going to sing it because it's so, the affectation is critical to hearing the song. Anyway, point being, I feel like that's you. Like, you're looking for the magic. And I feel like your inner child is saying you don't have to be sneaky. I'm going to really quickly, I want to look up in the Animal Tarot book this Six of Pentacles, just because it is a little bit of a newer deck to me, and I want to make sure I'm giving you the full reading, pile 4. Just in case I haven't said it, if you want to like, comment, share, subscribe. I always say that like so sillily, in a goofy way. I feel silly asking it, but it really does make a difference, and I genuinely do appreciate everyone who does it. So thank you to those of you who have subscribed and commented. It, like, cannot tell you how much it's made my day. Okay, 6 and 7. So 6, you've got like, yeah, generosity, assistance, support. Yeah, like you were able to share your material wealth. But also these 3 meerkats, it's also like with 3, I also think like communication, teamwork. And I feel like maybe you felt like there weren't people you could trust, or people like you had to kind of keep your eye on in whatever you were building, pile 4. Especially with the Two of Wands in reverse, like it feels like maybe something happened that you weren't planning for. Because again, you've got this Sawilo energy, like this masculine, like I feel like you were very much like if you have a to-do list, you check it all off. And one of the things on your to-do list is check off everything on my to-do list. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like you're just a very thorough, productive person. But what's interesting with this Tower moment, I feel like there might be something that's why this listlessness is happening, pile 4. Like, I feel like there might be something that needs to crumble for you to move forward. And whatever it is, I feel like for whatever reason, you're either not letting it happen, or like this is something like you're telling yourself it's not going to happen. And I know the Tower is a scary card, trust me, but here what's interesting is there's just a storm in this Tower. It's not actually being destroyed, which I think is interesting in this deck. So I don't think it's going to be as detrimental, whatever this thing you're avoiding through, maybe even just almost a workaholism. Your inner child is saying you don't need to trick yourself. You don't need to bury yourself in planning and work, and especially with the 9 of discs in reverse, which is usually such a, upright is such a positive card. Like, I feel like your inner child is saying you're using this as a crutch. You're using this, and especially with the Dragonfly and the Ace of Wands in reverse, like, I think you talk a big talk, or can talk a big talk, and no judgment, I do it too, in terms of, oh yeah, I do X, Y, and Z, like I keep hitting this light. My life is busy, like I'm doing a lot, like I've got a lot of passions in my life, but it's burning you out. And I think your inner child is saying you're kind of tricking yourself into thinking that, like, yes, you are building something and have been building something, but there's a magic like that you're missing by inundating yourself with work and by avoiding whatever storm that could come by you not working. And to clarify, pile 4, this isn't to say, quit your job, don't pay your rent, F it all. Like, I mean, maybe if you want to do that, do that. But you know what I mean? I think it's more saying whatever you're avoiding through work is not going to be as awful as you think it is, pile 4. And I think it's going to be, dare I say it, magical and transformative, especially with that moon and that gorgeous, gorgeous crane just silhouetted up against it in the Empress right here. And I believe these are lilies, and lilies are also a plant that can kind of allude to that sort of feminine illusion, but not in a bad way, like not in a deceitful way, which I feel like sometimes, pile 4, maybe you think things that can be interpreted as magic or things that aren't obtained through physical or material hard work, or hard work in the material realm. I feel like you're robbing yourself of that, and your inner child saying, I want that though. I want that magic, and I deserve that magic. Like, yeah, we're working hard, but like, for what? Like, for what? And I felt like really heavy. Like, I feel like your inner child really wants you to have some fun, pile 4. Like, I'm really getting that, like, remember when you were like this, I think this is what you want. Like, you want this ability to be able to share and to give to your friends and your family. But this isolation, this like work, this planning, like this has got you in a like, maybe you are making a lot of money, but again, maybe you're making a lot of money, but then also spending a lot of money ordering food because you're like, well, I don't have time to cook. And then, that's a $30 meal that could have been a $5 meal. Like, it's one of those things where you're feeding this machine, but it's not necessarily to get out of the machine, if that makes sense, pile 4. Your inner child is really like, let me freaking play. But let's look at really quickly to close your reading, pile 4, the interpretation, or rather the message from your Celtic tree oracle, which is 15, the root is elder, which is 6, which is interesting. You got Yeah, your inner child wants you to let go of something. And I really do, with all the pentacles here, pile 4, I feel like it's an addiction or a compulsion to work, whatever that means to you. And maybe you're like, I don't really work a lot, but maybe you are like, well, I need to research, quote unquote, and I say that because I do it all the time, like, what new couch I'm gonna buy in a year, maybe. Like, there's ways of being productive, or ways of framing busyness as productiveness. And I think it's a trap we get into because, especially if you're from, the US or any other industrialized country. I almost said company. Tomato, am I right? But But, you know, we base our value off of our productivity, and that is just, you are inherently valuable, pile 4. And I think your inner child is saying, like, yeah, I need a break, because we are inherently valuable. Wow, interesting, because especially with this 8 of Pentacles reverse, wait till you hear this, y'all. This isn't the message from the card, but this is about the card itself. The Elder represents a threshold, a doorway that you are approaching. As you stand at the door, take time to review your year and honor it. It's time to clean up after the harvest, that which you've created in the last year. Let go of that which is no longer relevant, but save the seeds of new hopes and potentials that you will care for over the winter. The end is the beginning, and the beginning is the end. It marks a time for personal withdrawal, retrospection, and release. It's time to surrender your old ideas, projects, outworn patterns, or stagnant relationships. And it's telling you to forgive yourself for your mistakes. So again, maybe if there was like, or maybe you felt like with this 8 of Pentacles in reverse, I don't know, I'm being told to focus on this one so much, but like, maybe you worked on something really hard and it didn't come to fruition. And that was your tower moment. Like, oh, I worked so hard on this and it really didn't pan out the way I wanted it to. But your inner child is really saying, that's okay. Like, did it suck? Yeah. Were we happy at the time? No. Can we move forward? Yes. We don't have to bury ourselves in work. My dog just barked twice, so I think that's her saying, yeah, that's right. All right, I'm going to read the message from your Celtic oracle to close out your reading, pile 4. I am the Ruse Elder, and I draw close to you as I represent completions. I am here to guide you as you let go of the past and review what has been created. I hold you as you look at everything that has been created up to this point. I thank you for your endeavors and hard work. I see your joys and disappointments. I honor you for everything that you have experienced in this ending cycle of growth. I support you totally as you bring things to an end, and I offer your encouragement as you look to the future and to bring new horizons. It is time to begin a whole new chapter in your life at a whole new level. I'm here to guide you and to support you to plant new seeds and to make new choices. I stand with the elders and the ancients. We are here for you. We offer you our wisdom. It is time to release something so you can move ahead. Pile 4. Perhaps the pond you are in is too small. Perhaps you need a leap of faith. You may find a whole new life ahead of you if you just take the jump. Go ahead. You can contemplate a change long enough. You have thought about consequences and sought advice. Be kind to your fears, but don't let them block you. Move forward and embrace the new. I'm going to conclude your reading there, pile 4. Definitely let me know if this resonated with you in the comments, especially the overworking thing. I really got that very heavily here for you, pile 4. But I really hope that this brought you some clarity. Your inner child wants you to have fun because you deserve to have fun and be joyous and enjoy magic, because it's, I mean, let's step back. You wouldn't be here if you didn't believe in magic, right? You would not be watching a YouTube tarot video if you didn't even believe in a tiny little bit of magic in this world. And your inner child wants you to just let a little bit of it in. You can do it, pile 3. By 3, I mean 4. You can do it. All right, thank you again. I will see you next time. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, evening, week, what have you. All right, bye, pile 4.